Our readings today are 6 Zen koans. Koans, as you may know, are riddles or puzzles or questions that are presented to the student of Zen by the master to open their minds. They're often humorous, and we have 6 of them today for you. A cup of tea. Nan-in, a Japanese master during the Meiji era, 1868 to 1912, received a university professor who came to inquire about Zen. Nan-in served tea. He poured his visitor's cup full and then kept on pouring. The professor watched the overflow until he could no longer restrain himself. "It is over full. No more will go in." "Like this cup," Nan-in said, "you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" Real prosperity. A rich man asked Sengai to write something for the continued prosperity of his family so that it might be treasured from generation to generation. Sengai obtained a large sheet of paper and wrote, "Father dies, son dies, grandson dies." The rich man became angry. "I asked you to write something for the happiness of my family. Why do you make such a joke as this?" "No joke is intended," explained Sengai. "If before you yourself die, your son should die, this would grieve you greatly. If your grandson should pass away before your son, both of you would be heartbroken. If your family, generation after generation, passes away in the order I have named, it will be the natural course of life. I call this real prosperity." Time to die. Ikkyu, the Zen master, was very clever, even as a boy. His teacher had a precious teacup, a rare antique. Ikkyu happened to break this cup and was greatly perplexed. Hearing the footsteps of his master, he held the pieces of the cup behind him. When the master appeared, Ikkyu asked, "Why do people have to die?" "This is natural," explained the older man. "Everything has to die and has just so long to live." Ikkyu, producing the shattered cup, added, "It was time for your cup to die." Nothing exists. Yamaoka Teshu, as a young student of Zen, visited one master after another. He called upon Dokuan of Shokoku. Desiring to show his attainment, Yamaoka said, "The mind, Buddha, and sentient beings, after all, do not exist. The true nature of phenomena is emptiness. There is no realization, no delusion, no sage, no mediocrity. There is no giving and nothing to be received." Dokuan, who was smoking quietly, said nothing. Suddenly, he whacked Yamaoka with his bamboo pipe. This made the youth quite angry. "If nothing exists," inquired Dokuan, "where did this anger come from?" The moon cannot be stolen. Ryokan, a Zen master, lived the simplest kind of life in a little hut at the foot of a mountain. One evening, a thief visited the hut, only to discover there was nothing to steal. Ryokan returned and caught him. "You have come a long way to visit me," he told the prowler, "and you should not return empty-handed. Please take my clothes as a gift." The thief was bewildered. He took the clothes and slunk away. Ryokan sat naked, watching the moon. "Poor fellow," he mused. "I wish I could have given him this beautiful moon." And finally, our last koan, in Dreamland. Our schoolmaster used to take a nap every afternoon, related a disciple of Soyen Shaku. We children asked him why he did it, and he told us, I go to dreamland to meet the old sages, just as Confucius did. When Confucius slept, he would dream of ancient sages and later tell his followers about them. It was extremely hot one day, and so some of us took a nap. Our schoolmaster scolded us. We went to dreamland to meet the ancient sages, the same as Confucius did, we explained. What was the message from those sages? Our schoolmaster demanded. One of us replied, we went to dreamland and met the sages and asked them if our schoolmaster came there every afternoon, but they said they had never seen any such fellow.
What does it mean to be a Unitarian Universalist? To find the answer, taste a strawberry ripened in the sun, or look into a newborn baby's eyes, or listen to what the jay says to the mountain. If they can't tell you, no one can. People who ask about our faith are often left puzzled by the answers they get. It's a religion with no doctrines, a time-honored tradition, a breaking with tradition, teaching people to trust their own wisdom more than they trust any official teaching. Ask a Unitarian Universalist what he or she believes about God or the immortality of the soul or similar matters, and they're likely to say, well, I kind of believe that, and maybe not, maybe yes, maybe no. To an outsider, it all sounds rather confusing and paradoxical. It's not easy explaining ourselves to others, and in some respects, religious liberalism is like Zen, the tradition of Buddhism with roots in China and Korea and Japan, known for its inscrutable, enigmatic aspect. It may be that our faith has much in common with Zen. Those knocking on the temple door, looking for instruction, find it hard to fathom, but the more you experience it from within, the more it becomes simple and transparently clear. Now, Buddhism is often caricatured and misunderstood by Westerners, as in the old joke about the monk who goes to the hot dog vendor. He approaches the hot dog cart and says to the vendor, "Make me one with everything." Sometimes the stereotypes are positive, saffron-robed mystics, but more often negative, because Buddhism is non-theistic. Some say it puts a void in place of God, puts emptiness in place of salvation. And all things are empty, the Buddha taught, empty of any enduring form or permanent identity. What seems so important and substantial, our careers, our ambitions, our sense of personal security, even our own egos, all of these are like smoke, evanescent, slipping through our fingers when we try to grab and hold on. And it's this grasping, this trying to hold on, to possess what cannot be possessed, that creates much of life's misery and worry, the Buddha said. Letting go means experiencing the void, which is often taken to be a bad thing. But emptiness, from a Buddhist perspective, is a little like New Mexico, with its cliffs and canyons and vast, desolate spaces. Yes, empty, but offering an immensity of room and freedom to inhabit and explore. At least since 1844, when Elizabeth Peabody offered the first English translation of a Buddhist sutra in the Transcendentalist journal, The Dial, Unitarians have been attracted to Buddhism, and today about 2% of our members call themselves Buddhists, while many more have some kind of regular meditation practice. And while I don't call myself a Buddhist, I've done enough sitting and study to know a little about it. The difference